Sorry my desk is a bit of a mess right now, but I'm packing all my stuff up so I can go home for winter break and edit all these daily December videos. So I'm filming this the day after Black Friday, and I just decided to pick up 2 games, not really anything more. Just been kind of busy with video editing and school and other games and stuff, so I just didn't really pick up that much. So the first thing I picked up was Mega Man 11 as a Christmas gift for my brother, because Mega Man 11 is a good game. And if you're watching this, bro, sorry the Christmas present was spoiled for you. And the other one I got was Collection of Mana, a collection of the 3 Seiken Densetsu games, all in English for the Switch. And the main thing is that Seiken Densetsu 3, or I guess Trial of Mana, it's the first time it's gotten an official English localization, so that's good. Even though this collection only came out in 2019 for America and Europe, this game actually came out in June of 2017 in Japan. Now, after seeing a lot of people get riled up about no English translation for this game at the time, and sort of looking into why people wanted it that way, I really thought that this was, to me, the second most deserving of an English localization, or just localization in general, during this first year of the Switch's life. Now, the fact that this is number 2 and not number 1 might be surprising to people who know the Mana series, because Seiken Densetsu 3 is a legendary JRPG. And really, for me, like, what would top, the untranslated holy grail of RPGs in terms of games I want on the Switch? Yep. Why, in my mind, did I think that this game was so deserving of an English localization? After all, it's just an HD port of a 3DS game, which is an expansion on an anniversary game, which is an expansion of Monster Hunter 4. God, Monster Hunter's releases are confusing. And while Generations Ultimate is my favorite Monster Hunter game, and it's definitely the Monster Hunter game I've played the most, and I do think it is a good game outside of just being a good Monster Hunter game, I really just kind of wanted it localized out of spite. Now, when Monster Hunter World was announced in 2017, everyone was super in love with the way the game looked, the game's improvements. Just the fact that the development team even made an HD game at all was a blessing in and of itself, considering the almost decade and a half of playing games that came from standard definition assets that we were lucky that we got an HD remaster every couple games. Now, also during this time, a lot of people were expecting Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate to get a localization announcement announced at that E3, because Double Cross, which is what that game was named in Japan, had come out for the 3DS in March and had gotten a Switch version announced for release later that year. But surprise, surprise, when people asked about this other Monster Hunter game getting localized, Capcom had very vague and tone-deaf responses. There's this one PR statement from Capcom that I remember. I don't remember what the specific wording was, but it was just so incredibly out of touch and so blatantly public relations damage control-y. And it was just super frustrating to see them address none of the concerns. Now, usually when a game in a long-running series has doubts about its localization happening, near 100% of the people in that long-running fan base will try to petition for a localization. Now, there was something incredibly sinister within the Monster Hunter fan base that I'm surprised that people would even say. All of a sudden, I just saw a bunch of people who I thought have been totally on board just arguing against Generations Ultimate's localization at all. I saw ridiculous arguments that ranged from a lot of areas, one of which was, oh, we have Monster Hunter World now, we have our big boy HD game. Generations Ultimate is just an up-res PS2 era game with all these old, outdated mechanics. We don't need that piece of shit anymore. Even Chad turned Cuck turned Chad himself, Pro Jared, who was the biggest YouTuber at the time, who really pushed for Monster Hunter in the West, said that he didn't want this game based on this logic. I just never bought into this stupid fucking argument because, yeah, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is not as good looking or as mechanically polished as a PS4 game made in 2018. Yeah, no shit, but that still doesn't mean that there aren't people who would have liked to play the game in English. There was also some other arguments defending the corporate perspective of, well, you know, World is obviously the direction Capcom wants to take this series, and releasing a PS2-looking Switch game is going to make Capcom look indecisive and hurt their brand integrity or their sales or something dumb like that. But the thing is that that's arguments and things that should be internal at Capcom. Consumers should not be making those arguments. Now, obviously, not everybody didn't want the localization to happen. There was a lot of people that wanted localization to happen, and I'd say a majority of the people were out there. But it was like a surprising, 30% of people that didn't want it to happen. And if you don't believe me, go look up on Twitter or Reddit, Monster Hunter Double Cross localization, and you will see threads upon threads upon threads upon tweet threads of people just arguing about this shit over and over and over again, and some of which I participated in. I was just so tired of getting browbeaten by all these people telling me it's never gonna happen, and I really did believe them that it wasn't gonna happen, but once I saw the localization news in May of 2018, I was just so excited for that argument to finally be dead. And you know what? I put my money where my mouth is. But Capcom, when you're gonna pretend to play dumb, when you don't want to announce your localization yet, just, say something straightforward or don't be so fucking tone deaf. But you know what? Even though I'm getting a little angry about it, we're all past that now. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.